It is St. Patrick's Day. I don't know if that means anything to anybody, but somebody brought this up to me and I had forgotten this, that 20 years ago today, I was in Kuwait and we were preparing to go into Iraq. We were working with the 1st Battalion of the Royal Irish Regiment. They were supporting us in preparation for the invasion. And we had a big St. Patrick's Day celebration. Halfway through the ceremony, we got called to go back to the company area. The battalion was moving up. We had gotten the call that we were going to move up to the border between Iraq and Kuwait. And so by the time I got back to the company area, we were already packed up and we were moving. We spent 2 days there going through combat preparations, going through comm checks and all of our equipment checks. And it was, I don't know how to describe it, but you could sense that we were at a crossroads, that there was going to be a before time and there was going to be an after time, that history was going to draw a line and you were going to remember where you were before it happened and after it happened. And strangely, I feel the same way about what's going on now. If you are worried about our country and where it's heading, if you're worried about where our society and where it's going, if you're concerned about the future, we've got a choice to make. But the choice is not between Democrats and Republicans. The choice is not between one presidential candidate and another presidential candidate. I mean, you only have to watch national news for about a minute and a half to realize that we should not expect any help from career politicians who have been in office longer than most of us have mortgages. It's just not going to happen. The reality is, nobody knows we're here. In Washington Parish, most people have never heard of this place. And if we're going to solve it, it's got to be on us. It's got to be on us, but we've got a choice. So if you find yourself asking, if Washington Parish, if we're not living up to the potential that we have, if we could do something better, then you should ask yourself, why is it that we haven't yet? Is it because our politicians have caused it to happen, or failed to prevent it to happen, or allowed it to happen? That's a good question for us to ask ourselves. Now, I realize that people get into politics for all types of reasons, but at some point, there needs to be a change. And I understand change is difficult, and change for the sake of change is even worse. Anybody that's ever owned a tractor knows how difficult it can be when somebody redesigns something that works perfectly well so they can sell more parts or sell different models. But change is necessary. Spring has to follow winter. That's how it works. There's no reason to continue to elect the same types of people if we're not getting the result that we need. We need to make a change. And there's no shame in changing your mind when the circumstances warrant it, just like there's no shame in taking off your coat when winter's over. Ultimately we get the leaders that we deserve. And so if at the end of the day, voters in Washington Parish decide that they want to continue to pay career politicians to pad their retirement accounts, then I will go home, I will work on the farm, I'll sit on my porch, and I'll be fine. But at some point, enough has got to be enough. Do we want a sheriff that's going to protect us or police us? Do we want someone that's going to enforce the law or keep the peace? Do we want somebody that's going to coerce us or persuade us? Do we want someone that's going to expect recognition or accept responsibility? And ultimately, do we want somebody that needs more time, or do we want somebody that's actually going to finish the job? I'm a solid. I'm not a liquid. I'm not going to take the shape of my container. I am what I am. I'll give you my opinion. I'll tell you what I think. I have no problems having a discussion, having a conversation. I'm not going to lose my composure if somebody challenges me. I just want to get to the bottom line. I want to get business done. So if I'm not the guy, somebody else will be. But I'm going to need everybody in here's help. I need you to spread the word. As people get to know us, I think they're going to like what they find. So please, I really appreciate everybody coming. Make sure you sign the book. Make sure you get a t-shirt. Make sure you forward our Facebook posts. Refer people to our page. Like I said, you don't have to convince anybody of anything. Just put me in front of them and I'll do the rest. We've got a good team behind us, and we've got a good message, and we've got a future of Washington Parish ahead of us that I think people are really going to enjoy. Before I get out of here, before I turn this back over to what y'all were doing before, though, I do want to make a couple of special mentions. The first is my wife, Rebecca, who I couldn't do any of this without her, but I certainly couldn't have done any of this. She did have the help of the kids, and she had the help of her sister Jude, who also deserves a special mention, so thank you. I want to thank John David and the staff of Sugar Shack. They're too busy, but you know, it's nice that they're a Franklinton institution and they've opened their doors for us, and they put on a nice spread for us, so I really appreciate that. If we could give them a round of applause. And then I want to make a special mention of Ashley as well. Not only did she do the killer corn for us, but she is, I don't know if you have a title, creative advisor or brain trust or
emotional support,
consigliere, whatever it's going to be. But no, she's been very helpful, so I appreciate that as well. Hey, so please, thank you for coming. No, we've got a huge opportunity. October is only 7 months away. It seems like it's going to be a long time, but it's really not. You know, for too long now, Washington Parish has kind of been run like a country club, and we need to get away from the mentality where there's certain people that are protected and certain people that aren't. We have a lot more amongst us in the parish that we have it together than we have differences. And so, again, I appreciate it. Please, before you leave, make sure I met you if I haven't. If you've got any questions or things you want me to address in some of the videos that we're doing, please let me know. But, hey, I appreciate it. Thank you.